Here's tree number 2 right here, folks. We have you see we cleared out the area all around it initially, and you'll see part of that in our little video we're doing here. You had a cluster of trees around it, a whole lot of tanglefoot. And it's very important to have plenty of room to access your cutting area. That way you don't get hurt. Cutting timber is extremely dangerous. And actually you risk greater danger with the tanglefoot and falling down with that chainsaw in your hands than you do when it comes to dropping the tree. Now this tree is actually bigger than the one that we dropped before. And no, I have not gauged it, but I will say, just estimating the height, it's taller and it appears to be wider at the base just by looking at it. You also notice we have a nice healthy red ant mound here, so hopefully by the time I get into this thing and cutting it, I don't know if it's active or not. I have not looked. But if you're going to come out and want to play, hopefully we'll get this thing dropped before that happens. Now the objective is to lay this tree right beside or practically on top of this other one. That way we maximize space and everything's fine. So we're going to jump on this. You guys enjoy, and here we go. Hello there. Now let's discuss, have a little after action review of what you have just watched. I guess in a snapshot, you could say, well, goes back to what I've said before, the best laid plans do not ever survive first contact. And you can go from hero to zero in the blink of an eye. We discussed before we started cutting this tree, when we did our little preview, how that tree was actually larger, taller, and it had a more prevailing swell, and the natural lean was more towards the rear, the way it eventually fell, towards the front of the property. Instead of being able to put it right beside this other one that I really wanted to do. So I was going to try to relieve stress and promote the lean in the direction I wanted to go. However, by doing that, I actually helped promote the lean in the other direction. Now, some of you are out there saying, well, how come you didn't cut it on the other side? If you have a tree right here, folks, and I wanted to get it to fall, like so, you want to put your initial cut right here. And you're going to promote your lean. Now, when you start talking about something that's got a natural lean like this, if you cut on this side, the problem is it's going to want to promote the lean more so in that direction. The only way I could probably come around and compensate for that is getting a couple cranking jacks. And you'll put the cranking jacks on this side. So when you put your initial mouth on this side, folks, you start cranking your jacks, and you'll start giving it some brace. Then when you do your relief cut, you crank them some more, and you start literally winching it over. But with that even being said, I've seen it where the cranking jacks, it's not foolproof. It's not, because 80 feet up in the air is where you have this lean. So above your jacking systems, you still have this thing fighting and wanting to go the way Mother Nature has designed it. So we did our initial cut, and then we went into a widowmaker. Anytime there's a tree hung up at a nice angle above your head, where crushing your person is prominent, that is known as a widowmaker. And compared to that one little limb that we cut back there, it's fair size, about 6 inches. That'd be enough to put you in the morgue. This would be enough to, well, just bury you on the spot, I guess. But this would definitely falls on you. You have a very, very bad day. So if you want to talk about scale of events, this is a true widowmaker. But we've helped to negate the emphasis of said widowmaker. And it's still creeping down the woodline. And you can see our widowmaker is still falling. Sounds like it dropped about 5 feet. What I was truly concerned about was with the swells on that tree where they're at, and you saw it wanting to lean. What I was really concerned about is it wanting to spin out. And once limbs start getting inertia to them, a tree can literally walk. So you could be here on a stump, you get going, and then depending on the break point, it could literally walk out and then fall at a totally opposite oblique angle. In which case I would say it'd probably take off or come close to hitting the back of the house real quick, which is why I wanted to pull it that way. But it fell within the wood line. I'm good with that too. These are the reasons why I say always plan for the uh-oh scenario. And the uh-oh is the polite version. You need to try to plan for this because uh-oh happened. And it's very crucial. Keep that in mind. We don't claim to be professionals. We were taking a journey together. So, where some people might edit this footage out, we won't. We're going to show you, and we are discussing this with you. Once that saw blade started to get bound up on me, I knew the deal. We're going to go ahead and address this. Stick around.